although there are lots of things going on around the world, but there's lots of opportunity. There's lots of opportunity to adapt, to evolve into something else. All business sectors and all areas are they're forced to look at their ways and adapt and evolve, and that is only good. There are challenges, of course, every year, every day, every second. There's always challenges, but for me, I am an optimist, true and true. Anytime you're almost, even if you're forced to look at yourself in the mirror and look at your own practices and your own ways of how you carry yourself, if you're forced to look at that and address that and assess that and make growth through that is only a positive. I just look at it with an opportunistic mindset and a very optimistic, that good things will happen from it. I look at this year as an opportunistic year, you know what I mean? There are a lot of things moving and shaking, and you best believe, through this situation we are faced with, you will see some amazing things take place, as you have already seen, you know what I mean? There's some very highly intuitive things, you know what I mean? Some things that have happened and the way people have handled things. You've got to go through the storm to get to the sun, they say. So that for me is the way I'm looking at this year. Anytime anything bad has happened to me, or anytime I've been faced with something that forces me to look at myself or look at the surroundings, it's always worked out for the better. Through work ethic, through fighting through the doubts and through the storm, so to speak. Maybe other people's doubts upon you. Fighting through all of that, strengthening. Again, this strengthens your own mind, and then you will break through and succeed. You've got to see it. You've got to have it in. You've got to have that outlook. It's got to start with the mind. Your mind has to believe in chance, believe in the divine, believe in things to happen for you. You know what I mean? It's got to. You can't. Your mind must create these things before anything else. Most of us, if not all of us, know the changes we must make or the things we must do in order to become successful or to reach the heights. Where it happens is we just don't do it. I know I've got to get up at 8 a.m. in the morning. I get up at 9 a.m. It is hard at times to get to that stage, but it's about a lot of self-talk. A lot of self-talk with yourself and just being honest with yourself. A lot of people can lie to themselves, but if you're truly honest with yourself, if you listen to yourself and take care of yourself in this manner, it strengthens your power to conquer anything else. And that's where I have succeeded, and it's also where I've fell short. So this is coming from an experienced talk. These are little defeats in yourself. If you simplify it, what time you go to bed, what time you wake up at, if you can control that, if you can control what you put into your mouth, be it food or drink or any of that, if you can control those two things, they are the main things to control. Everything else just falls into place after that. Make sure I go training, make sure I keep my training structured. But if I get my rest correct, and if I get my food and nutrition correct, the training is I don't even got to speak on the training because it's a guarantee. It's an everyday thing that I must bring it back to the basics. Look after my rest, look after my nutrition, treat my body and my mind like a temple, and then everything else falls into place. I'm asleep at a certain time, I'm up at a certain time, I'm eating a specific diet that's going to boost my immunity, my endurance, my mindset, everything else that comes with it. And then it's like I don't want to say a domino effect, because dominoes is knocking it down. It's like a reverse domino effect, it builds it up. I have energy, I am excited to go to work, be it exercise or be it business. So I don't even got to say I got to make sure I got to be at this training session at this time or this meeting. That's a given. You can build something on it. You can throw things together and get it up high real quick. But the cracks in that early foundations will start to present itself, and it will start to open up and eventually crumble. You can't build something on an unstable foundation. You build something on a shaky foundation, you can even get it high as you can. You can. The nights out will catch up on you. The lack of discipline in the it's I'm gonna say the small things, but it's not. As they say, the small things make the big things. It's a hard crumble. It's a hard fall when you do this. Everyone will look to skip these things and make excuses for these things, the basics. But it catches up on you, you know what I mean? If you just put true faith in that alone, you know that as long as you internally, your own self, is correct, as time goes on, things will just happen naturally. You know what I mean? I feel those that are there, and those that are not, you know, they are not. And eventually, they say the cream always rises to the top. You must lead from the top. You know, it filters down throughout the staff or throughout the people surrounding you or whatnot in your businesses. It filters from the top. If the boss is late or if the boss is acting up, well, then everyone else thinks it's okay to act up. You know what I mean? So it comes down from the top. As long as you, in your place, are correct and on top of your game to what you need to do and where you're going, everything else around you will fall into shape, and everyone will, you know, take inspiration from that and become that in their own way. And then they will bring their own qualities to it, which will make the whole picture almost trying to get people the way I feel. It should be, but it's not about that. That's all external. The internal must be correct. You know, it's like listening to external thoughts or external doubts from people that will criticize you or want to see you fail or it's like a mirror almost. That man or that person who's writing this or saying this, he himself is projecting his own insecurities, because that man would have not even fought anyone on planet Earth. So he's saying, you ain't done this, you ain't done that, when really it's his own thoughts that he ain't done this or ain't done that on any scale. So it's like a mirror. We are all students at the end of the day, and that's got to be understood, no matter what level you are. You know, we are all students. We must all remain with that student beginner mindset. To be a leader, you've got to be an amazing student. You know what I mean? And you've got to remain that. What are the minor things that you can do in your own self that can make you better? You know, are you eating correct? Are you exercising correct? Are you resting correct? Again, back to the basics, back to the foundation, back to the core. Rather than looking out all the time at the doom and the gloom that's all around us at times. It sometimes feels like it's so overwhelming. Look within yourself. What feel like minor things, but they are actually the major things. It has to begin within. It is no one else's fault. All the external circumstances they do not matter. So do not give them time. Do not point blame at them, or do not put energy into them. Bring that energy internally. Focus on your internal self. They want to draw out a reaction to to paint your character or yourself in a different way, to see you go a different route. But it's like, as long as you're yourself and you're strong and you're, you know, like I said, leading from the top, you know, it's like it's non-existent. You're not reactive, you're creative.
Styles make fights. Every fight is a different fight. That's why all this prestige and all that people try and like hold on to. I don't hold on to that. You know what I mean? Whether someone has multiple wins or multiple losses, you know what I mean? Every fight between every man is different. I'll make me adjustments and keep moving. So anything can happen in this game, and I'll go back, I'll get healthy, and I'll re-prepare. I've built an incredible, you know, I've got to a great place in my body physically, and I'm going to continue to grow on that.